Hello and thank you for joining me. For those new to the channel, my name is Alan and today's video is a follow-up video to last Saturday's video, which was the contents of my Bergen. This is the part 2 and it covers my admin bag and what I class as level 1 survival items. Items that should be on your person and not in your bag. Stay with me. Level 1 items are the items that should be on your person and not actually within your bag or Bergen, rucksack, whatever you want to call it. These two items I EDC. Every time I leave the house, these are on me. So if I was going to do a bit of wild camping or whatever, these would also be on my person. Swiss Army knife, all the usual tools on it, with an emergency ferro rod. My EDC torch, which is a Fenix E12, operates off one AA battery. Then in the reverse, a mini Bic lighter. So as I say, this is an EDC item that is carried on my person. It's not in a bag, it's in my pocket. The other item I carry is this Helicon Tex mini first aid kit. I am susceptible to cuts at work, which is why it's always in the cargo pocket. But I've got into the habit that I carry it on my person 99% of the time that I leave the house. So you open it up, a couple of safety pins, a little pill container with some Puritabs, another one, it's got anti-diarrhea tablets in it and some paracetamol painkillers. An alcohol pad and a iodine prep pad. This side, Life System anti-tick tweezers, a large-eyed needle which is pre-threaded with braid, so sew things up, repair stuff, get splinters out. And then in the main section there is a Fresnel lens, an aid memoir, plasters and wound closure strips and some small dressings. So it is primarily a cuts kit with a few other items. Doesn't weigh a great deal, it's relatively small, and I EDC that, so that is a level 1 item. Those two, level 1 on my person all the time. Now if I'm venturing out, going to do an overnighter, bit of camping, whatever. A cap keeps the sun out of my eyes, keeps the rain, which is more important to me, off my glasses. Nothing special about it. A pair of cat's eyes on the back that illuminate in low light. My clicker, measuring paces. I've done a video on this before. A pen, which is a pressurised cartridge, right in the rain type pen. A Write in the Rain notepad. And a navigation aid. In the back, it's on a laminated sheet, so it just helps if you want to do grid references, it's a Roma, that sort of stuff. And that just sits in a sleeve at the back of the notepad. It would be in a smock pocket or a jacket pocket. Likewise, a head torch. Again, in my opinion, it's a level 1 item once you decide you're going to go and venture out into the wild, so to speak. This one is a Nightcore HA11. It operates off one AA battery, so you will see that there is a theme going on, that my torches operate on AAs, and mainly just on one single AA. It's got red and white light capability, various levels. What's good about it is you can set it so it switches on and off just with red light, and you can use the function switch, bang bang, and it will go into turbo mode. It comes with a head strap that you will see in a little while, but it has a clip, and I use the clip because it goes onto the peak of the baseball cap, and my main outdoorsy coat I've modified by sewing on some webbing strips above the chest pockets and one in the middle between the chest pockets that goes over the flap that would have the zip, and it means I can just slide that clip onto the front of my jacket, and again I've got hands-free illumination that I can aim completely down if I'm doing something without wearing it on the hat or on the strap. The compass, level 1 smock pocket. Gerber Recon, very old torch, runs on, you've guessed it, a single AA. Wouldn't normally take this. This is more for use really, you know, if the zombies are coming, that sort of thing. It has a dial that you can rotate, so it will give red, green, blue or white light. You twist the end and it illuminates. And what I've done for the white light one, as I say, if I don't want the zombies to find me, is there is a piece of black insulating tape over the white light lens with a pinprick on. So that's actually on and that's off. So it emits very, very low levels of white light, so you can do some sneaky beaky navigation and check your map without telegraphing your location, so to speak. I know a lot of people think that they can use the red filter to save their night vision and for map reading. Trouble is, when you use a red filter, it wipes out contour lines. So you can look at a map under red light, then if you look at it under white light, they're like two separate maps. But that isn't something that I would take all the time. If I do, it's a level 1 item in a smock pocket. Spoon also usually goes into a smock pocket, just so I know where it is. I carry 2. In the last video about the Bergen contents, I did say that it didn't really have any tools, because the tools are, in my opinion, reliant on what I'll be doing or what I anticipate to be doing. If I was just doing a little stealth camp for a night or 2 nights over the local-ish woods, it's very, very unlikely that I'm going to be processing firewood, because technically I'm not supposed to be there, and I wouldn't want a big blazing or any fire really as such that's going to obviously signal where you are. So it could be that I would just venture out with my EDC pocket knife. It's got a saw on there and the other tools. Or I might decide to wear this, which is relatively low profile, and it's a number 9 open all. So technically, about good reason, it's not lawful carry in a public place. Or if I'm going somewhere where I know I can, I've got the permission to, I might decide to take fixed blade. This is a Bush Law clone, so it is a bushcrafting type knife, Scandi grind, very thick, full tang obviously, and it's heavy because it is solid and it's robust. So I might decide to take that, or I might decide to go a little bit lightweight if I know that I'm not processing wood, I'm not going to be battening anything. Just a Mora companion. And as you would see, because the sheaths are made to cost, let's put it that way, it can fall out quite easily. So all I've done is added a bit of shot cord around the belt loop, and I've put 2 knots in it, and that enables me to use it as a keeper. That will never fall out now, and if you want it, you can grab that knot, pull it up, and it's accessible. I've done the same with my bushcraft knife, because again, it can fall out. Not that I expect to be going upside down, but if you go A over T and lose your knife, you're pretty buggered, aren't you? So the same, just put a shot cord loop on it, double knotted, and it just clips over and it holds it in. You want it, it's accessible. So there, my sort of go-to cutting tools. And again, depending on where I'm going or what I anticipate to be doing, a Laplander. So that's tools. And those, as I say and keep saying, they're level 1 on your person, not in the bottom of your bag. Because if you lose your bag or it gets stolen, you've lost all your gear, and then you are completely unprepared. Helicon Tech Sear pouch. This is something that I wear in addition to carrying the Bergen or the rucksack, day sack, whatever. It has got a strap that clips on to wear around the waist, and if I'm wearing a smaller pack, that's something that I would do. Then you can wear it around camp. Once you set up camp, you can still wear it around, and you've still got items for survival or emergencies on you. The reason the strap's off at the moment is because with the Bergen, because of the hip belt so substantial, it's a pain in the bum. So I wear it on my belt through this dangle loop. And what I've done is I've put a groom lock on this side, and that just means that I've got somewhere to carry my gloves, and they just hang on, or hook on I should say, onto the groom lock when not being worn. So we'll quickly go through the contents of this, and then we'll move on to the admin bag. There's quite a few bits in here. It isn't something, it's not like a possibles pouch really. It's not something that I anticipate going in and out of frequently. They are primarily the emergency items, or your survival, your pretty much last layer survival items. There's a little necklace that would be worn. If I was going out, I'll be wearing this around my neck. There is a signal mirror behind this piece of bicycle inner tube. The inner tube protects the mirror and also is a good emergency fire starter, especially if it's wet. So there is just a signal mirror under here. As I say, it's protected by the piece of inner tube. My trusty whistle, signalling, and a little LED light. Doesn't weigh a great deal, round the neck, even when I'm sleeping, to be honest, because if I need a little bit of light, I know exactly where it is. Next item out, orange bandana. In this little foil pack, this little Mylar bag, there is nothing exciting in here other than you can open it, a green and silver Mylar blanket for an emergency shelter. Paracord, a new to me, I've recently bought this one, fire steel. If I was carrying that one, then it would be in the sleeve and then kept in position with that shock cord so it can't come out. If I'm not carrying this knife, then in all honesty this would be clipped onto a lanyard and in my pocket. Some pieces of shock cord and braid. There's also a sewing bobbin in there loaded with braid, and these items are for use with a Mylar blanket to make an emergency shelter. Spare AA battery for my EDC torch, the recon torch, or the head torch. Just one battery in here because this is the survival, if you like, items. Then in this side, BCB Commando saw. I know they're not particularly good, but they can be good if you're careful and you practice. But these are survival items. I've got a small wood saw on my Swiss Army knife that would be in my pocket. Gives me a little bit of redundancy. In this little Ziploc, there are some fire plug tinders, a bit of heat gun glue, so you can heat it up with a lighter, repair stuff, a piece of wire, another needle with thread, some safety pins and a razor blade. A candle, one Fire Dragon cube, and that is emergency tinder, the pencil sharpener, Bic lighter, mini Bic, so I'm carrying two, one in my EDC with my knife in my pocket and another lighter actually in this pouch. Some Gorilla Tape, a 1 litre pour and store bag. Has a gusseted base, so it actually stands up. 10 water purification tablets, and again I'm carrying some in my EDC first aid pouch. And a Diarrhea, which is a rehydration salts sachet, because if I land up with a squirt or I'm dehydrated, then as soon as I can prepare water to get into my body, I'm going to stick a rehydration sachet in there to rehydrate me. And that is it in that pouch. Next item, the admin bag. In my last Saturday's video with the Bergen, it lives at the top. The idea behind it is that if I've set up camp, I'm in camp, and I need to administrate things, myself, my kit, whatever, it's all in one bag. So instead of having to delve into all different pockets within the rucksack, I can just take this and get on and do what I've got to do. If I'm going for a hike with an overnighter, this probably wouldn't be with me because of the weight. It doesn't weigh loads, but it's too heavy to be doing hiking with an overnighter. So you would take the bare essentials out of here, whittle it down and pack them into something smaller, but the principle would be the same. This is a Snugback response bag. The only thing I've done to it is I've cut the waist belt off. So didn't use it, and it just adds a bit of weight and a bit of bulk. So in this pocket there is this little pouch that I may again or may not take with me. There are some trip wire alarms in there. ×2. More cordage. There is some Dyneema guy lines, some paracord, some comms cord, and a repair kit and patch for my self-inflated mattress. So it's just additional cordage if it's required. My shelter system that was in the Bergen video has all the guy lines and ridge lines packed with it. This is additional too, if I haven't got enough or whatever, more cordage. Millbank bag, filtering sediment and leaf matter out of water prior to either boiling it or filtering it, or even chemical use with the Puritabs. Spare batteries, 4 AA batteries. So there's one emergency one in the Helicon Tech Sear pouch, and an additional 4 AA batteries because my torches all take AA batteries. A little lantern that I bought years ago. It's a bit of a comfort thing. Again, it may or may not go with me. You can hang it up under your basher if you want to do a bit of reading or whatever before getting your nut down. Just twist it and it lights up. Double twist it and it flashes. The headband to my Nightcore head torch, it is just shot cooled on a clip. It's not on it because for 99% of the times I don't use a headband, but I'm carrying it just in case. DC4, just to keep the knives from carrying the knives in a usable state. Propelling pencil. I'm already carrying a pen. That's the contents of that front pocket. This end pocket, foot powder, looking after your feet, especially if they get wet, go to sleep, gonna dry your feet off, put some foot powder on them, and then put your nice wool socks on that you only keep for sleeping in. So some foot powder. The other thing this is useful for, primarily I could say if you're hunting, or it could just be that you want to watch nature, you do some bird watching, or you want to try and get close on the rabbits or whatever. You don't want your scent to be carried in the direction of your prey or the item that you want to look at. And of course you could get some leaf matter and throw it up and see what direction the wind blows it in. Or you can literally pop the top, and I'm not going to do it because the good lady will kill me when she gets in. Give it a little squeeze and it will dispense a puff of talcum powder in the air, and then that will show you direction of wind. Could be that you're going to set your basher up and you're not sure which way the wind's going. Squirt, now you know where the wind's going, so you can get the opening of your basher out of the wind. So it's just another use for some foot powder. Head net, mosquitoes, gnats, midges, biting insects, especially as we're coming into summer, if you're going to be near water or even in really on the edge of woodland. Yeah, so head net. A little bottle of bug spray, and it isn't bug spray, it is Avon Oh So Soft. It is slightly perfumed, so if you're going to be in a tactical position, you probably would want something that's unperfumed so no one can smell you. I buy the relatively big bottles on Amazon, and then I just fill it up into a little bottle. It hasn't got DEET in it, so it's not going to melt your plastic, but it is very effective. So just a little bottle, there's enough there for a night or a couple of nights. And to say, just unscrew it, top it up, screw it back up. A little fuel bottle, it's got some meths in that one, and a chapstick. Took me ages and ages to actually work out that yes, I can be manly and wear a chapstick if your lips are getting a bit chapped, and also as an emergency flame extender because it's petroleum based. So that's the contents of that pocket. This one is just a little lamp on here. They're not expensive. I've got quite a few of these. They're marketed for clipping on your clothes when you're doing your jogging around the streets at night. I've got it, it's ideal for clipping onto kit or to your rucksack as a marker, or if you are travelling by the side of the road, stick it on your back. And it has various modes that you can activate, so it would warn traffic that you're there, or use it as a kit marker if you've gone for a wander and you want to know where your camp is. This pouch is primarily toilet, hand sanitizer, emergency fire starter as well, another lighter, this one's got a little bit of Gorilla Tape around it, and tissues. If you're going to have a dump in the woods, you're going to dig a hole, poop in the hole, your toilet paper, don't bury it because the animals just dig it up. It takes ages to degrade. They're going to dig it up. It's just not nice. So you've got two options with your toilet paper. Burn it, hence the lighter that's in here, or I have a bundle of nappy sacks. Put your pooey paper in a nappy sack, tie it up, bit gross, such is life. Take it home with you and dispose of it responsibly. Next thing up to do with toilets is you've got to dig a hole. Yes, you can, get a stick, make a digging stick, whatever. I've got a little trowel, it's about £4.50. This is a brand new one because a good lady stole my other one and is actively using it in the garden. There is a sleeve on the back of the snug pack, response pack, that the waist belt would normally tuck into when it's not in use. And I just put a little trowel, doesn't weigh a great deal, and that just slides in that sleeve for transportation. It means you can dig a hole to have a poop. Main compartment. In this little drawstring bag is a Sawyer. I'm not sure if it's the mini or the squeeze. I don't know what I've got in here at the moment. So, Sawyer squeeze, dirty bag. This is a 2 litre, 64 fluid ounce one. I wouldn't necessarily carry the syringe for reverse flushing, depending. Again, if you go into a localish woods to do a stealth camp for a night, you might not have a water source there, in which case you're going to carry in the water that you need. You might need 1-2 litres just to see you out over, over that 24-hour period. If you're going further, you're not in, and there's a water course that's available, then you're going to want to carry a filter. And then, if you're out for a period of time, I suppose carrying the syringe is worth it so you can back flush it, because you wouldn't want to be away for a week and within a couple of days find out that your filter's really badly clogged up because you haven't been maintaining it. So the syringe is in there. The other thing I've got, that worried me then. So we've got the drinking tube that goes onto the squeeze, and I've got a little bit of food grade silicone pipe. I've got a length of it on eBay. And the reason I got that is the Sawyers are excellent, but there's no activated carbon element, so potentially chemicals, that sort of stuff. If you're near farmland where there's going to be runoff, you're going to end up with chemicals in the water. So although the Sawyer's going to do a lot for you, it might not remove the nasty bits, so you could potentially still land up poorly. I bought a number of these. They're platypus and they are the carbon element, Gravity Works carbon element, and they fit. So, dirty water bottle, I've got to get this around the right way now. Dirty water bottle goes on that end, and then you would either put the tube on and suck, yeah, or squeeze it down. This silicone pipe fits onto the nipple inside, flow. Dirty water on the top, goes through the normal filter, then goes through the carbon element, out the carbon element, into the container for you to drink. So depending on where you're going, you may not need it, but if the water is a little bit dubious, then I have an activated carbon, just to try and make it a little bit safer. And again, you may not decide that you need to carry it every time. Little folder cup. Carrying a pot, bit of canteen cup or whatever. But it may be that, you know, if you're with a group of people and someone's got a brew on, you might decide to stick this in your pocket and then you can have a brew with them and be sociable, or not, as the case may be. Doesn't weigh a lot. Spoon number 2, long handled one, just to be able to get into the bottom of those pouches without having to cut them lengthways and getting mucky fingers. Some bellows, not tried them yet. And then in here, all there is, again going back to the Bergen video, there is the canteen cup stand, and in here is just the little Monkey Boy stove that I use with it. And to improve the efficiency, as I've done on previous videos, of the stove, my trivet that goes on top of it that creates an air gap between the cup stand and the actual cup. Chimney effect, more drawer, and literally does knock well over a minute off the boil time. And then finally, brew kit. Nothing too exciting. Sweeteners and probably about 10 2-in-1 coffees. So that's just brew kit, and that's just in this little waxed cotton bag. And that is it. That is the full contents of my level 1 kit and the contents of my admin bag. If you found the video to be of use, then give it one of them, please. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing, helps get the content out there. And I'd love to read your comments. Just bear in mind, level 1 on your person, rest of it in the bag. So as I say, love to read your comments. Enjoy your weekend. It's supposed to be 20 degrees Celsius today. Seeing is believing. I've been good, done the washing for the good lady, ha ha, and they're out on the air to dry in the sun. See you soon, take care.